Okay, so thank you so much for the introduction. My name is Sara Pedraz, and I will moderate the next panel, which is about collaboration. But let me start with a couple of questions and facts to explain what is behind this panel. The first question is for the audience. I don't know if you're aware about the incidence of cancer in Spain, so can anyone tell me how many women do you think that are going to be diagnosed from ovarian cancer this year in Spain? Can anyone? No? Throw a number? You can Google it. 1 million in Spain. Hope not. No, according to the Spanish Society of Medical Oncology, it's 3,600. If we add to that number the ones that are going to be diagnosed from endometrial cancer, we have around 10,000 women per year in this country. Of course, many of them will survive, and many of them will live for many years, hopefully. The thing is that, in fact, actually, we have around 100,000 women with these two cancers in Spain. And the second question, do you know how many centers are accredited to provide them with the surgery they could need? No? No, you can volunteer now. No? Well, as of today, 8. 3 in Barcelona, 3 in Valencia, and 2 in Madrid. And I say as of today because last week we had 7, so we are happy to have one more. So we have 8 centers for the surgery that 100,000 patients could need. With that in mind, at GSK we launched the project Oncogene, which is trying to expand the knowledge of these centers and provided any healthcare professional, no matter where they are, the knowledge from the diagnosis, surgery, and post-operative approach they need to provide with a high-quality surgery. This is a project that relies on technology. We have 5G infrastructure, we have immersive reality, we have educational technology. And we know, and we can agree that this is just baby steps, but the baby steps that we need to make in order to provide the patient with the accessibility and equity that they deserve by guaranteeing the knowledge that the doctors need to have. But of course, I'm the innovation lead at GSK, and we are not a tech company or educational company, so we need allies to do this. We cannot start this on our own. We need tech companies, we need technologies, we need, of course, physicians. And we realize that we need another way of collaborating. It's not just creating a project on our own and asking someone to develop. We need to start from scratch, from the data. And this panel is about that. It's about how we are building a new way of collaboration that allows to make an impact and to create and shape projects like this. So I'm going to introduce the guests that have collaborated with us, or are collaborating with us, in fact, to shape this project. The first one is Marta Pineda from Telefónica. She started her journey at Telefónica 15 years ago, and the last 3 trying to help pharma and medtech companies in search of innovative solutions. She's an industrial engineer from ICAI, and she's a mom, and also an amateur singer. Yeah. So if we all go blank, Marta can save the panel. Miguel Rasero, the CEO at Vector Pipe, a Spanish startup from Malaga. He's a Techstars alumni. So we don't have the opportunity to have a Techstars alumni in front of us every day, so he is. He's expert in cloud computing, deep learning, and artificial in augmented reality. And he's the owner of M-Surgery, a tool that is able to connect operating room real time and provide it with remote assistance. And then, and it's an honor to have Dr. Jordi Ponce, which is the head of gynecology at Bellvitge University Hospital. He's PhD at medicine and master in integrated health management system at ESADE with a stay in Georgetown University. board of directors of multiple national and international scientific societies, and also a professor at University of Barcelona. These are part of our panel, and I'm going to throw the first question. That is, okay, where we can agree that collaboration is needed to shape projects as complex and as big, as impactful as the one that we are building together. But where are we coming from and where are we going to? Okay. Can you start, Marta?
Yes. So good morning, and thank you, Sarah. It's unquestionable that we are living the greatest revolution in history, and events such as COVID has caused us the speed of the digitalization of companies have multiplied by 5. And this point has positioned the telcos as a vital sector for the digitalization. Technology and especially connectivity are absolutely essential for us. The last 2 years, we are totally dependent on this connectivity to work at home, for education, to be connected with our families or friends. And the other way, as a head of sales in pharma sector in Telefónica, I could see the deep change in this sector the last years and how it has been transitioning from being a closed sector to opening up to new collaborations with the main objective to improving the patient's quality of life. So I think that all of these circumstances frame us in a perfect storm to take up this type of innovation project.
Great. Miguel, from the startup perspective, how do you feel that we are moving?
We have been doing, as a tech startup, we have been doing software development for a long time. We have been going through a lot of different revolutions in our sector that happen every few years and is increasing the speed. So many solutions and tools that are created today were not possible only a few years ago. Some technologies and devices like virtual reality, augmented reality, or artificial intelligence are evolving at a really fast pace. So we have been doing some proof of concepts in different sectors, like retail or tourism or even sports. But after we did the first health project, we are focused on it. I think that the collaboration is really important. For example, for us, we wouldn't be able to create helpful tools if we can work closely with companies like Telefónica that allows us to use a really fast communication network that has low latency and high throughput. But also, of course, being a project like this on the health sector, we need to collaborate with players of the health industry. Being the main one for us, the pharmas and the doctors. Because without your need, we wouldn't be able to create useful tools. So.
Thank you. And what do you think, Jordi? Where we started?
Thank you very much. First of all, Sarah, really thanks for your kind introduction and for the opportunity to be here today. For me, it's an amazing meeting that I am a surgeon, so I don't know what I'm doing here. But let me tell you a little bit an history. Yes, an history. So my old chief, Professor Balagueró, at the 50s, so the past century, went to Vienna to learn surgery from the Vienna School of Surgery, or gynecological surgery. Then he came back to Barcelona and founded at Bellvitge Hospital, the School of Gynecological Surgery in Bellvitge. So now I am the chief of the department, so I was trained in this school, and I know the teacher of this school. So I have to operate as my way to operate. So this is a school, this is my way, this is the best way. Nothing is standard, nothing is objective, so it's my way to operate. So I think that now is time for changing that. So I can take a lot of pictures, a lot of videos for a lot of the best surgeons around the world to put in artificial intelligence to do a step by step for the surgeries and to describe and standardize the best way to do this procedure. For example, an hysterectomy is to take out the uterus from the woman. This is the most useful procedure for a gynecologist. So I can standardize now how to do an hysterectomy. So we have to abandon the schools for the objectives and standardized procedures. Really, it's a change.
Okay, thank you. And what this change involve for all of you, or your industry, your position, your type of company, or your organization? What do you need to boost this type of change? Jordi, for example?
So, at the same way, for me, it's to change the learning model. So if we have, you can standardize the procedure, and you have to use new tools, new technology, new device to operate. We can to standardize how to do that to change the learning model. So for that, for example, we can operate by laparoscopy. You know, laparoscopy is with the scope in a screen. So I can to train that. So it's important. It's simple. With a box, I can to take cheek pins and change just to be useful to operate in a screen instead of a surgical field, a standard surgical field. But more, I can operate, I can train in animal models. For example, pig is a good model for us to operate. In my personal opinion, it's a little bit difficult that I don't know if it's sustainable. If I have some ethical conflicts about this model, but with more technology, we are going to train in the virtual models. So no, for example, in robotics, I love Da Vinci system, I love robotics. So it's possible, it's able to train about a lot of exercises just to know how to drive the machine, but even more, you can do a virtual hysterectomy, complete hysterectomy, just like a PlayStation. You can do complete hysterectomy. So I think that this is the model to train now the new surgeons.
And from your perspective, Miguel?
For us, I think there is something special in trying to help experienced doctors to train new batches or students that will be saving lives in the coming years. Also, my co-founder has some research experience at the university on the health sector, and he loves it. So he has been always pushing me to try to tackle the health sector. I think that the most important thing we need to acknowledge, all the participants need to acknowledge, is that no one knows everything. So we need to work together closely to get the most of the design, the most out of the design process. I imagine a Swiss watch. There is a complex machinery. There is a lot of moving parts, and I see each one of the participants like a wheel, a gear wheel of the complex machine. So we need to work together to move the machine forward.
And Marta, I'm really interested in your perspective because you come from a big company. It's about to get 100 years old. So how Telefónica is living this change? How are you getting transformed? And what this type of projects involve for you?
Well, I think in our company we have two great challenges. The first one is to continue investing with full confidence in connectivity, because they are the technological base of all of these projects. And the second one, and just as important, is that we have in Telefónica to understand the needs of the people and the companies, because only becoming are really partners, we can do the change. We can achieve a sustainable change.
Okay. As you were speaking, Jordi, I was having in my mind one thought. There was, do you feel you're trained for this? Do you feel any training is needed? How can we help doctors to be part of this chain that we are trying to shape?
So, not believe me, we are skilled, but we have to learn more, and we have to improve a lot. I think that we need some technological solutions. So the surgery, the evolution of surgery is just the revolution of new technologies. So let me explain an example. So to do an hysterectomy, I have to control the bleeding. So I have to cut the uterine vessels and avoid bleeding. I can put a pins and a stitch and a suture, as usual, or I can put a vessel sealer. Vessel sealer is a device that measures the impedance of the tissue, and then I can coagulate and cut just with one hand. So it's easier, faster, and safer. But even more, I can take this device with my hand, or I can take this device by a robotic system. So I can use a vessel sealer by a robotic system like a Da Vinci or other ones we have in the market. So for me, we have to be more skilled about the new technologies, not only to use that, to design and to participate, and we know that we need as a surgeon, but we need the companies and technical innovation in cooperation to design and to implement that.
Great point. And I think that maybe, Miguel, when we started working together, you feel the same way. Like, it's a complex project that involves a really particular patients with really particular disease, and you're an engineer, as Marta is. So do you feel you're trained to work in this new way of collaboration? What do you need?
I mean, all the needed parts are just here. So we have the tech, we have the devices, we have all the new environments, development environments, and the startups are ready. We have the knowledge to get the most of these new technologies. So what we really need is, the main problem for us, the main barrier for us is having access to the medical equipment, and especially the times from the doctors themselves is a complex thing to solve. So because we can create new tools, but tech alone means nothing. We need to work with the people that will be using it, because if we don't have a really deep understanding of the domain that we are creating tools, we will not be able to create helpful tools. So we need to collaborate with the people from the health sector.
So to sum it up, we need your time out of the operating room to be able that Miguel builds something. And Telefonica, what do you think about this, about the training needs that we all could have? Because at the end, we are pharma, we are launching this, but honestly, again, I repeat, we are not a tech company, we are not an ed tech company. We know about the disease, but we are not surgeons, of course. So we're in the middle of sometimes nowhere, and maybe multinationals are sometimes in the middle of nowhere. Do you feel the same, Marta?
Well, I don't think so. I think that in Telefonica we have the infrastructure, the professionals, and we have the necessary experience to develop this type of project. No, 5G allows us carrier connections with minimal latency, higher speed, and of course, more security in mobile connectivity. We can do a project that a few years ago can seem as science fiction. Finally, I would like to say it about Oncogene, that it's true that in Telefonica we have already made before medical tests in 5G, but Oncogene suppose moving this technology from a test to a real solution, and I think that it is all important for all of us.
And I don't know if you agree all, but I think that sometimes we need facilitators, and maybe that's a role, because we don't speak the same language. I remember the first meeting, and I once mentioned that with Telefonica, where we were with the 5G infrastructure department, and it was like, wow, they're talking about something I don't have no idea. I am talking about a disease they don't know nothing. So we were like communicating in a way that was, wow, if someone from outside could see this, it's nonsense. But we were somehow communicating. So sometimes a question of having facilitator that I think that maybe in this project we are orchestrating this collaboration. It's led by GSK. So we need that type of roles that sometimes an engineer, a physician are not enough, because they need a way to build something that has a vision, has a mission, has a communication plan, a launch plan, and so on. And multinationals can work in that. And we have 4 minutes left. So what about some take-home message about how can we boost from our perspective this type of collaboration? How can we continue? How can we continue working from scratch to create projects that can have an impact on patients' life that we are always mentioning, but I think that sometimes we are not launching this type of projects. So, Jordi, do you want to start?
So, Sarah, I completely agree with you. We are not in the middle of nowhere. so I feel really comfortable in this panel. So I think that it's very important, the collaboration in the multidisciplinary team. But at least at two levels. For me, it's easy to collaborate and multidisciplinary between physicians. So it's easy. Oncology, radiology, imaging, so that it's easy. But this is another level of collaboration. This is a level of collaboration that we need. We know that we need, you know how to do that, and a facilitator, I think, is crucial for that. Because every one of us are in the market, but nobody is communicating. So I think it's very important, the role of all of us. So for me, the take-home message is we have to work in a multidisciplinary team at this level. This level beyond the hospital, beyond the physicians. This is another level. And this is for our patients. So I think that, in fact, we have to return this knowledge to our patients, not only with the good results, answering her expectations and perception of the whole procedure of this disease, especially in oncologic disease.
Great. Miguel, how do you feel about, from your position, from a startup position in Malaga, that you were a part of this project from the beginning? How do you feel we can continue boosting this type of collaborations?
I think that this will happen organically because this project and some other projects that are being worked on right now will be creating a new set of tools that will be introduced in the industry, in the healthcare industry. For example, speaking fast about our project is to help students having a remote immersive training experience so they can have take those lessons from the best doctors from the best clinics. Usually this is something very expensive and difficult because there are physical realities. They have to travel, usually a long trip. They even sometimes move different countries to get the top-notch education. This is expensive, and also the operating rooms are small. You can have at the same time a big number of students having the first-hand experience with the doctor that is teaching them. So we hope that with this project we will be helping a new batch of students having the best education from remote. This thing is important. I think it's important. So I think this project and other projects like this will be helping the industry to move forward to a new era of collaboration.
Marta? 1 minute.
Finish.
Yeah.
Okay, so we cannot forget that we are connecting people. So we, in Telefonica, we must make the technology easy. And finally, I want to say that the use of the technology, the connectivity, and of course the medical work, the doctor works, allows us to provide the best available health care for anyone. And in my opinion, this is the real democratization of healthcare. And I don't know if this is a best reason to working hard every day to continue working hard. Thank you.
It is, definitely.
Yes.
So thank you, Jordi. Thank you, Miguel. Thank you, Marta. Thank you for being part of this project. Thank you for helping us to make real our goal that at the end of the day is transform cancer into hope for the patients and work for them. So thank you so much.